Sit. Now, I never put him in the crate out in the yard this way, but when we did our first visit at your house yesterday, you saw how, at first, because he never got into the crate this way at your house, he hesitated. So now I'm going to put him in a crate when the crate's in a different location. Dogs are that way. If it's not exactly the way it's been for a while, because usually all the time the crate's been in my house, then they're like, wait a minute, we don't do it this way. So I'm kind of mixing it up. I want to do this out in the yard to show you how to do this if he does kind of put on the brakes and not want to do it after I'm off the scene. This is the way you're going to do it. So he's never gone into the crate when it's been out in the yard before, but this is what you want to do. Take a little reward here. This is that natural balance he loves. He knows I have it. Do the same motion you do without the food and say, go in your crate and toss it in. And that was pretty easy. So all you're going to have to do if you have any problems, good boy, there's another treat for him because he turned around to meet me and he's staying in there. You got another reward. Any problems you're going to have going in the crate, toss that food in, make the same motion you would do without the food. And then like tomorrow, if you do that a few times today, tomorrow you just do it without the food. Just go like that, like you've seen me do it in other situations on the video, and he'll just go in. And then when he goes in and turns around, good, he gets another reward. I always take off and put on his collars when he's in the crate because he learns to be calm and not wiggle around and run around, which was a huge problem with him. And then later on, because he gets so used to just standing there and letting you take off and put on his stuff, you can do it outside the crate later. But first, really make sure that you practice for a number of months in here because he's a pistol. You've got more energy. He's got the energy of 3 normal puppies. He's got those little needle teeth, so you want to do this way for a while. So see how he knows? Good. He knows how to wait in front of, or wait at the boundary. He won't come out because we've taught him that that's a boundary that we control. And if he waits there, good stuff happens. If he tries to come out, no. Let's give it a little slam. It never touches him. It's just a token slam, but that means for him to back up. We always, if I ever had to do that, or you have to do that, he'll respond and do it the right way. Good. We always follow up with, hey, see, you did it the right way. This is what happens when you do it the right way. Never do that correction or any correction unless you follow up with rewarding him for doing it the right way. So, good. I'm going to just reach in and take off his prong collar. Got this little mini prong collar on him and his choke chain. I just briefly want to explain. One more treat. Good. Before I close it, you want to have every interaction with him when you're touching him like that, because that's such a problem with him. Every interaction, there's a gift that comes along with it. So he just sees that food coming. He's like, feels a little bit better, reduces the stress a little bit better. Instead of him thinking, oh, they're going to do something to me or put something on me or whatever, and him using your hands as toys, he's looking for that reward and he's looking forward to being touched around his neck. That's why we do that. It's giving him a different association with for you touching him. This little choke chain, as you can see, they're both, the choke chain and the prong collar are both attached to this leash. That's because if the little mini prong collar here ever comes off, then the choke chain takes over and you never lose him out in public. So we always double up with two collars. The choke chain would never be used for training. It's dangerous because all the pressure would be right here. It's very old school. We wouldn't use that for training, and it's, why would anybody now anyway? Because it's metal and it would choke him. It would, damage his throat or over time wear down his larynx. So it's always hanging loose unless this thing comes off, which might happen a couple times a year. But you'll be glad you use it if you do it that way. The prong collar, although it looks scarier, is way safer than the choke chain if you use it the way you see me using it through this video, because it's fitted to the size of his neck. It can only close so far. When you do the little prompts, the little signals to slow down or however you're using it, it closes with the same pressure all the way around. So it may look scary, but you want to have a good quality one. This is a German-made Springer, which is the best quality I can find because these are blunt. You want it fitted, just loosely touching all the way around. And of course he's going to grow, so you're going to add links as he grows. And you see throughout the videos how easy it is to control him with this on there, so you don't have to struggle. And then later on, You won't have to use anything. He's getting tired of me talking. This is typical Winston, very, very anxious. You ignore this though. So if he ever does this in the crate, you don't let him out until he's quiet. Anyway, I just wanted to explain all that to you. So I always hang the prong collar on the door, and you can put this stuff anywhere. If you want to put it up on the crate, you can. He sleeps overnight in the crate every night. I make sure I put him out right before bed, and then he goes out first thing in the morning, make sure he doesn't have an accident in the crate. He's been really good. And then his whole routine in my house, since I know you're having a house training issue, in and out from the crate outside. If he's going to be loose in the house, first he comes from outside, so I know he already went to the bathroom. On a leash, next to me, if I'm on the sofa, if I'm cooking in the kitchen, if I'm at the computer, next to me on a leash, so I can always notice if he starts to circle or act anxious, I take him back out again. Not one accident in the house since he's been here. So it's always been going out through that same front door, bathroom, then a little free time in the house, and then if I can't watch him, back in the crate. From the crate outside, the same thing. So that's what I would, if I were you, I would continue that to make sure that he doesn't have any more accidents in your house. When you want to put this on, first, I'm going to put on this little choke chain first. And see how he won't rush out? If he tries to rush out, you say no, and he'll wait. I'm going to put my hand through the choke chain, and he's going to get that little treat. I'm just going to draw it right over his head. See how easy that was? No, don't let him stick his head out. And then I'm going to attach the leash to the prong collar. Make sure you attach it to the funny looking buckle, this perfectly round buckle or round ring there is just a spacer. So don't even touch that. Make sure it's not twisted. You can let it hang like that to make sure it's not twisted. And then you just reach in like this and hook him up. And if you just sit in front of the TV for a half an hour or so and practice undoing the collar. See how his feet are hanging out? No, I'm not going to allow that. You'll get the hang of the prong collar, and when we see you, we'll help you with that too. You get used to it pretty quickly. And then you've got the leash hooked up, and this is an exercise that I would do, is I would just step back to really drive it home that I own this boundary, that he can only go in and out of his den, because that's the way he thinks of the crate, as his den. That's where he gets fed, his bones are in there, everything is in there, so he loves it. But if I control the boundary in and out, it makes me even more powerful in his life. And you should do it this way too, because it'll really help you. So he's waiting for me to come up to him, to the crate door, pat my leg and say, okay. He'll come out. Always keep this door closed, whether he's in or whether he's out, because of course if you leave it open and he can just go in and out as he pleases, you lose your opportunity to be powerful, because he can only go in with your permission. So always keep it closed. And then from here you can go on your walk or put him outside or whatever you want to do. Okay.